So I want to talk to you about something that I'm just personally challenged with. So here's the deal. If God starts really getting on to me, I think, man, I may as well share that. This really began some time back. I began thinking about my own walk, and we can kind of veer off so I was elk hunting this last fall, and it was a wilderness area. I was hiking in, and I on the way in, there's a scripture that says, "Be still and know that I am God." So sometimes when I'm hunting or just out in the wilderness, it's really great prayer time, and I love being out there anyway. So this was, you hike in for 3 or 4 miles, and you're not seeing anybody, so just me and elk and antelope back in there. So on the way in, I began thinking about this scripture in Philippians 2. He says, "For it is God who is at work in you, both to will and to do for his good pleasure." So I began to think about that. Starts with the word "for." So you got to kind of back up a little bit, and what's the for? He says, "Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling, for it is God who is at work in you, both to will and to do for his good pleasure." And I thought, God, do I really do that? Is that my focus? One, am I really working on this with a seriousness, a soberness? And two, do I focus on what pleases you? Here's what I do. I know this will shock you because you probably don't do it. I tend to focus sometimes more on, God, what will you allow me to do? I really don't want to go to hell, so what can I get away with, rather than what makes you happy? And that really kind of became, in a sense, my thought process walking in. What is it that pleases God? If I focus more on, God, I believe this makes you happy, rather than, God, I don't believe this makes you really unhappy, I've kind of shifted that around. So I want to talk a little bit about that. With horses, what I really want to do, and you look at that scripture, "For it is God who is at work in you, both to will and to do for his good pleasure," really speaks of purpose. And I find that what I do with horses is I really want to give them a purpose, and I want to simplify that purpose. So Starbuck is a good example. He's packed out elk, and we've been up in the mountains in deep snow and been in the desert. He's also been in parades and carried the flag. He's been in huge auditoriums. The one Friday was a large auditorium, but he was in, I had him in a 2,500 seat auditorium in Texas. Walks in, and you got all the lights and everything. He's been on news and documentaries, been seen by millions of people. Documentaries in the United States and France and South America and England. None of those things are his purpose, though. I want to simplify. I want to say, you know what? Your purpose is to be on documentaries. Your purpose is to be a parade horse. So here's his purpose. Here's what I want him to know. That he doesn't have to think about any of that. All he needs to do is wait and try to do what he feels like the weight on his back is asking him to do. That's it. So if we're in an auditorium and they're saying you got to come around this curtain, that, so all I'm doing is saying, I let him in there first, but all I'm doing on his back is saying, we're going to turn right, we're going around this corner, and he goes, okay. He doesn't have to overthink it. He doesn't have to think about all the stuff that might be part of that. So the reason I say that is sometimes as Christians, we tend to overthink things. Oh, God, what do you want me to do? What pleases you? What is it that I need to do today? Who do I need to talk to? Rather than, God, help me to be sensitive to the still small voice in the now. And